Hey sweet friend, welcome to my channel. My name is Heather Sweetman. I am a special needs mom who makes unedited YouTube videos while driving in my car from appointment to appointment. If you are new around here, welcome. So glad you are here. I am here on YouTube to create content that I wish I had found when we first started our special needs journey, and just in the throes of diagnosis and therapies and doctor's appointments. So today I just want to continue telling our story. I've been taking time on Thursdays to record our story part by part. I think there's a lot of power in our stories. I think the special needs community in general, there's a feeling of loneliness. I know all humans everywhere deal with loneliness from time to time. I think the special needs community is so overlooked, and caregivers, parents, caregivers, grandparents of special needs kiddos, or kids with special needs as I prefer to say, are so inundated and overwhelmed. Who has the time to create this kind of content? I'm a decade in, so I've built up a little bit of muscle when it comes to our special needs journey. So I feel like I'm in a space in my life where I can actually share. So that's what I'm doing here. So I hope you find some encouragement in this today. So we have 4 kids. Our baby, our baby is a 10-year-old, which is crazy to me. How does that even happen? She has quadriplegic spastic cerebral palsy. She was diagnosed around 8 months unofficially, and then officially around 1.5 years with an MRI. And this is the third part to this kind of story series. I can link parts 1 and parts 2 below if you would like to catch up with that. But I think I left off where we had just gotten into early intervention when Finley was 7 months old. So I just want to pick up from there. So we were accepted into early intervention at 7 months old. It was about the time she was 8 months old that we started therapy, 6 hours of therapy a week with therapists. And then on top of that, at-home exercises, daily exercises that easily took an hour to do. Plus, some of you will be able to relate to this if you have a child with special needs. Finley had leg braces and foot braces and contraptions she had to sleep in, and a certain type of bodysuit to help stimulate awareness of her core, and things to put on her hands to keep her hands in the correct position. And I would say that first several years of getting into therapy was a mixture of emotions, because you are just inundated in this world that you have no clue about. You know, you're learning that there is a type of doctor called a physiatrist, which I had never even heard of. And even there's times when I told I love my pediatrician and she is amazing, but she was like, what kind of doctor? I was like, a physiatrist. And so just, learning things that even my pediatrician is not versed in, because she, that is, special needs is not her specialty. Pediatrics is her specialty. So general pediatrics. So anyway, sorry, distracted by crazy people on the sidewalk. So I believe, the first few years, just completely inundated, new information, really almost every time we had therapy, new exercises to add or try almost every time we had therapy. It just felt like I was running. It felt like I was trying to run a marathon and I was running on a treadmill and never getting anywhere. And for whatever reason, even though we did all of the things that the therapist told us to do, Finley really made very minor progress. In fact, I would have to really guard my heart when I would see other kids with a similar diagnosis. Maybe, just under the blanket of, or umbrella of CP. And if you're not familiar with CP, it is a brain injury. Can be caused at birth, can happen in the womb. For Finley, it was in the womb. Her C-section delivery went completely fine, nothing to report. And I just lost my train of thought. Hold on. Where was it? Oh, CP. So CP, like, someone, you could be talking with someone, to someone with CP and have no idea they have CP. Like, there's this one lady that I know who her CP affects one arm and one leg on the same side, and it only really shows up when she's very tired. And so her arm might come in, she may limp a tiny bit, but otherwise you would never know. And then there are severe cases where someone can't even lift their head, off of their pillow, or, they're being tube fed, or, it can look a million different ways. So the umbrella of CP is huge. So just, in the throes of therapy and feeling like we weren't getting anywhere, and just really battling all of the emotions of wanting to give Finley everything we could, wanting to provide for her, also dealing with just the struggle of giving our older kids the time and attention that they needed, and that we wanted to give them. So I think in the next really 4 to 5 years, I really struggled just with a ton of guilt, playing over and over in my mind. Like, is there something that I did to cause this? Was there something that I ate? Was there something that I took? You just replay, like, what could I have done differently? What can I do differently? Just searching through all of the different therapies we did. I'll never forget, we did, for a season, we were doing speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, which Finley was receiving all of those services through early intervention. And then we added on aquatic therapy and horse therapy. And I was just, in that season, I was just searching for anything that would help her to make any progress, whether that was verbally, whether that was feeding herself. She was not able to drink out of a straw until she was about 5.5, 6 years old. And I tried every single kind of sippy cup that you can possibly imagine. It was really during this time that I just felt myself getting angrier and angrier with God. I just felt like I was doing all of the things. I was doing all the things to help Finley make just even tiny bit of progress, and just felt like we were getting nowhere. And I think, naturally, when you are working really hard towards a goal after years and years and years of working for that goal and feeling like you have not seen any results, it is just like, what am I doing with my life? So these were, for me, these were the dark days of our diagnosis. They were, God showed me that I really was believing the lie that my performance, like my ability, that's not the right word I'm looking for, that if I showed up enough for Finley, then that would mean that she could at least talk, or at least walk with a walker, or at least feed herself. And we were not seeing progress in any of these areas. So, and I would see around the age of 3, we switched to a different, we aged out of early intervention, went into a therapy clinic called City Kids. Phenomenal clinic here in Chicago. And I would see these kids maybe a few years younger than Finley, who had the same diagnosis as her or a very similar diagnosis, and they were making progress. I would see them, coming in similar to Finley, and then within a year they would be walking with a walker. And I mean, I cannot tell you the heartache that I had during those years, and just the torment of like, what if we had Finley here at City Kids from the time she was born? Would she be like these other kids who are doing so much better, who are able to be so much more independent? Because Finley, that girl, is fiercely independent, and so it creates a lot of anger and frustration for her because her body will not do what she wants it to do. So it just, like, she's got such a big personality. And she can be really, really happy and excited. And then, with that same kind of, I remember my pediatrician with our oldest telling us, if you have a kid who gets super happy and super excited and is the life of the party, you are going to have those emotional swings the other way as well. And that's totally normal. And that was really helpful. So I was really grateful that I knew that, and I could apply that to Finley. It didn't make that much easier. But so that season of my life, really years 0 to 5, I just felt like I was in this loop of guilt, frustration, anger, desperation of just searching for something that would help her. It was a really rough season in our special needs journey. And you know what? I'm actually going to link below as well my previous video, because it was about burnout, because it was around that 5-year mark that I hit rock bottom. I was done. I had depleted all of my energy, all of my strength, and I was done. So I will link that below, because caregiver burnout is a real thing. Or just burnout as a special needs parent. There is so much that is required of us as special needs parents. It's hard on your other kids. Not having a special needs sibling, that's a whole nother conversation. The attention that we have to give our special needs children it takes attention from our other kids. So there's that, just the guilt of that. Even though I knew I was doing what I needed to be doing, it can take a toll on the marriage. I mean, I think the average, just in general, the average couple, it's like 50%, right? Divorce rates. And then if you add a special needs child into that, it just gets higher, the chances of divorce, because it just puts such a strain, and you're not sleeping. And anyway, I'm going to start rambling. I'm going to stop the story there. I will link part 1, part 2, and then also my video about caregiver burnout. I want to continue to talk about caregiver burnout. I think that is there just needs to be a lot more videos made about that. Because people are like, what's wrong with me? Like, you're burnt out. And we just don't know. I didn't know. So anyway, all right, friends. Thank you for being here. If you have made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of October, so I have about a week. If you could help me get there, that would be amazing. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the like button, throw me a comment, just say hi or put a heart in there. All of those things tell YouTube that this is valuable content and it needs to show it to more people. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.